Here's a story you might recall from last summer in the city of Atlanta. In June, police there responded to a report of a man passed out drunk behind the wheel of a car in a parking lot at Wendy's. Here's what happened next.
Hey, sir. You right? You're sitting in the drive-thru line here. Blah, 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 blah. Stop. Very good.
I just had a few drinks, that's it.
Oh, I think you've had too much to drink to be driving. Put your hands behind your back for me. Here, put your hands behind your back. Hey, stop fighting! Stop fighting! Stop fighting! Stop fighting! You're gonna get tased! You're gonna get tased! Stop!
Mr. Raw!
Stop! Come on, man. Stop! You're gonna get tased!
Mr. Raw!
Hey, hands off the taser! Hands off the taser! Stop fighting! Hands off the taser! Stop fighting! Taser! 63.
Hard to watch. Here's the bottom line on it, though. The suspect, Rayshard Brooks, grabbed an officer's taser, then whipped around and pointed it at the officers chasing him, and that's when one of them, an officer called Garrett Rolfe, shot and killed Rayshard Brooks. So within a few days, Officer Rolfe was fired from the force and then charged with murder. Now he has been restated. The Atlanta Civil Service Board ruled that his firing was unlawful because he was not given due process. That's something that's still observed, apparently, in Atlanta, though not in many other parts of the country. Officer Rolfe, we should tell you, still faces criminal charges. Now, one of the people who's been very direct about this case and fearless on it from day one has been Candace Owens. Here's what she tweeted last summer, quote, "Rayshard Brooks ran away from cops with a stolen taser which he attempted to fire at cops. Black Lives Matter doesn't care about facts, so let's burn down Atlanta," end quote. Candace Owens is the host of Candace. She joins us tonight. I'm always reminded, Candace, by why certain people want to make you be quiet, and it's tweets like that. So what do you feel vindicated by this decision to reinstate the officer to the force in Atlanta?
No, I'm actually disgusted by this decision because it should have never happened in the first place, right? I would feel vindicated if this officer was never arrested, if this officer never lost his job. That would be vindication. What has happened here is something that everybody should be angry about and upset about. All it took was 2 eyes and an ounce of morality to call out what actually happened in this case. This officer acted and demonstrated a high emotional acuity. He went from trying to peacefully arrest somebody. He was so kind. In the full video, he calls him sir. And then this guy, in the middle of the arrest, shakes him off, tackles him and his partner to the ground, and grabs a weapon and sprints away. He doesn't even know if his partner is okay. He's chasing this guy on foot, putting his own life at danger, and the guy turns around and attempts to fire a weapon at him. In that moment, it's, am I going home or is this criminal going home? People forget that police officers are fathers, they're sons. They have homes, they have families to go home to. In this instance, he acted correctly across the board. And what happened, the worst part of this, Tucker, is that the mayor has come out. Keisha Bottoms has come out and spoken about why he was fired in the first place. You want to know what she says? She says because if we hadn't fired him instantly in that moment because it was following George Floyd's death, it would have represented a public safety crisis. Essentially what she's saying, Tucker, is we were scared, so we had to fire him because the mob was outside. It is a complete and utter act of cowardice that we are talking about when the mayor knows that she did something simply to please the mob. And guess what? She's right. She is correct. Had they not have fired him instantly, her city would have burned for weeks on end. But what does that tell you about the state of America today? What does it tell you when a mob can demand something, even if it's not justice, and they give to them just to keep the peace? I'm disgusted with the decision all across the board. I wish I could say that I feel vindicated, but I don't. Because right now what is happening is the corrosion of values, the corrosion of ethics, and we're allowing criminals to run the streets, and nobody has the gall to just call out what this is. This is not about Black Lives Matter. We need to protect our police officers.
Well, what you described is the collapse of the criminal justice system, when mobs get to tell mayors who gets fired and charged. I mean, that's kind of the end of civilization. Quickly, do you think if we didn't know the race of either the police officer or Rayshard Brooks, that this would have even have been a story?
Of course it wouldn't have been a story. We already know that by rate, white Americans are killed more often by police officers. And we know that by rate, police officers are 18.5 times more likely to be shot by a black man than the other way around. Nobody cares about the facts. Hispanic men are killed more often by police officers. We only hear about it when it is a black man that is killed by a police officer. And in almost virtually every instance, that black man is representing some threat to the police officers. But the facts don't matter, Tucker. The feelings do in this circumstance.
Yeah, not good for the country at all. Or for justice, as you put it out. Candace Owens, thank you so much. It was great to see you tonight.